If it's happening in professional wrestling, we're breaking it down. The matches, the moments, the rumors, and yes, even the hot takes. This is Pro Wrestling Focus. No nonsense, no wasted motion, just pure wrestling talk. Now, here's your host, Cody Springer.
Well. WWE actually did it. They ran back Evolution, a premium live event dedicated entirely to women's wrestling. Shocking, I know. It only took 6 years, 3 GMs, and probably a blood sacrifice to get it done. But we're here, and you know what? It actually mattered. We had legends, a title change, a betrayal, a Money in the Bank cash-in, and yes, this show was stacked, and the women delivered. Let's break down the chaos, the greatness, and yes, the few questionable decisions that came out of Evolution 2025. Alright, let's talk about that opener. Evolution kicked off hot with Becky Lynch defending her Women's Intercontinental Championship against Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. And I gotta say, this match delivered. The crowd in Atlanta was lit from the jump, giving them a standing ovation before the bell even rang. You could feel it. This meant something. Once that bell rang, the pace was fast, physical, and honestly a great way to start the show. These three women did not take a second off. We saw near falls, big time counters, high spots, and some stiff shots that made you go, damn. Bayley and Becky tried to team up early to get Lyra out of the equation. Smart strategy, but short-lived. The second they got her down, the claws came out. Lyra came back flying in off the top rope, hit that double cross body, and showed that she belongs in the same ring as two of the division's best. Now let's talk key spots. Becky tried to hit that double DDT, didn't quite land it clean, but the crowd didn't care. They were into it. Bayley hit the Bayley to belly. Lyra broke it up. Lyra hit the Nightwing on Becky. The crowd popped, but Bayley made the save. It was back and forth, high intensity the whole way. And then the finish. Bayley hits the rose plant on Lyra. Becky comes running in like a shark smelling blood. Rolls Bayley up in a backslide and snatches the win. Classic heel champion move, and it was smooth. The match ends. Becky's music hits, and the crowd's still going nuts. This is how you start a PLE. Now, I saw some people online, and I'm calling this out, comparing this to an AEW style match, like it's a compliment. First of all, no. Let's not disrespect these three women by acting like anything AEW does sets the bar. I'll take Becky, Bayley, and Lyra over AEW's entire women's division every damn day of the week. Half of that roster can't sell a move if their life depended on it. Don't bring that energy into this conversation. This was a WWE women's match done right. Intensity, story, timing, and a red-hot crowd. Everyone looked strong, Lyra especially. You can tell that WWE's grooming her for a big push. Bayley's fire lately has been unmatched, and Becky's still in her bag as the smug, conniving champ. I predicted that Becky would retain, and I was right. Great opener. I'm giving this a solid 4 out of 5. All right, let's get into it. JC Jane retains the NXT Women's Championship over Jordynne Grace at Evolution in a match that had one hell of a twist at the end. Blake Monroe turns heel and costs Jordynne Grace the match. Yeah, that actually happened. So let's rewind and talk about how we got there. The match kicks off hot. Grace wastes zero time and starts tossing JC around with German suplexes and even hits a suicide dive. The crowd in Atlanta was with her. Meanwhile, JC's rolling in with her gang, Fatal Influence, Fallon Henley, and Jasmine Nix. And surprise, surprise, they get involved early. Classic heel tactics, slowing the match down, pulling distractions, the usual. Still, both women had their moments. Jordynne hits a nasty spinebuster and a beautiful folding powerbomb. JC fires back with a draping neckbreaker and that running knee that actually looks solid tonight. Credit where it's due. Then we get to the ending, and this is where things go sideways. In a good way for storytelling, but not so much for Jordynne. JC goes to use the belt, Blake Monroe steps in, clears Fatal Influence out, and for a second it looks like she's about to help Jordynne seal the deal. Nope. Out of nowhere. Whack. Title shot straight to Grace's back. JC hits her rolling clothesline and gets the 3 count. Monroe hands her the title like it was her plan all along, then walks out on Jordynne while the crowd is stunned. Let's talk about fan reaction. The crowd loved Jordynne from the jump. Big time ovation, and they were riding with her the whole way. There were some great near falls. That said, the match wasn't perfect. There were a couple awkward transitions and near botches, and you could feel it at times. It didn't kill the match, but it was definitely noticeable. The online reaction, the Blake Monroe turn blew up on Reddit and X. Some fans called it predictable, others were genuinely shocked. Either way, it worked. It gave this match a moment people will remember, and it sets up a solid feud between Blake Monroe and Jordynne Grace moving forward. So now we've got storylines coming out of this, and this is exactly what you want from a title match at a big show. Now, my take. Honestly, I thought Jordynne was going to win here. And yeah, she got an out with the betrayal. But let's be real, that's 2 big matches she's lost now. First to Stephanie Vaquer when she was champion, and now to JC Jane. It's starting to feel like that Shawn Michaels is doing that old Vince McMahon playbook. Bring in talent from another company, make them eat shit for a while before giving them their flowers. Not saying that's definitely what's happening here, but the optics, they don't look great. On the flip side, JC Jane might finally be shaking off that transitional champion label. She held her own, looked confident, and now she's got some heat going into her next title defense. The match wasn't a classic, but the angle at the end elevated it. I was wrong on this one. I had Jordynne winning, but hey, the turn gave this match a reason to matter beyond the bell. I'm giving this a 3.5 out of 5. Solid work, some storytelling juice, and a direction for NXT moving forward. Alright, let's talk about the Fatal 4-Way for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez came in with the belts, and they left with them too. After surviving a chaotic, fast-paced, 8-women frenzy that honestly over-delivered for where it was on the card. You had Raquel and Roxanne defending against Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, the Kabuki Warriors, and the NXT team of Sol Ruca and Zarya, and all of them showed the hell up. We start hot with Kyrie and Roxanne mixing it up, and then from there, it was just madness. Constant tags, no dead time, and everyone got their shine. Sol Ruca and Zarya impressed early, especially dominating Bliss in the opening stretch. Zarya's got presence, and Sol's athleticism is wild. These two didn't win, but they showed that they belong. Now let's talk about Charlotte. The crowd went crazy when she got the hot tag, and honestly, this was the best that she's looked since coming back at the Rumble in January. She was laser focused, no wasted motion, just straight fire. But the most insane moment, that botched spear attempt from Zarya accidentally speared her own partner, Sol Ruka. And when I mean by botched, it wasn't she didn't botch the spear. She was supposed to spear Alexa Bliss, but Charlotte moved Bliss out of the way and let it happen. And the impact of the spear from Zarya to Sol Ruka looked nasty. Like she damn near broke her in half. That was one of the wildest looking spears I've seen in a while, and the crowd let out a big reaction to that. The finish was clean and well structured. Raquel launched Bliss to the outside of the ring like a lawn dart. Roxanne took out Charlotte with a dive, and then boom, chaos neutralized. And Raquel nailed Sol with the Tahana bomb for the 1, 2, 3. Perez jumps into Raquel's arms, and the Judgment Day is still holding the gold, and the crowd enjoys it. As far as the fan reaction, solid. Crowd loved it. Charlotte's hot tag got one of the biggest reactions of the match, and fans online are calling this the sleeper performance of the show. And as for me, I had fun with this. All 4 teams got a chance to shine. No one looked like dead weight, and everyone played their part. Charlotte was locked in. The Kabuki Warriors brought their experience, and Sol and Zarya got elevated just by being in the mix. And Raquel and Roxanne continued to gel better than expected. The right team won. Storyline continues. I called it. Another win in the win column for my predictions. As far as the rating, I give it a 3 out of 5. Good match, fun, solid. Not a show stealer, but absolutely did its job. So let's talk about what was billed as a dream match. Tiffany Stratton defending the WWE Women's Championship against the Hall of Famer Trish Stratus. The young star versus the legend. The new it girl versus the Attitude Era icon. And in the end, Tiffany Stratton did what she was supposed to do. She beat the legend clean and walked out still champion. Prettiest moonsault ever. 1, 2, 3. Done. Let's break it down. The match started off with Tiffany using her size and strength to back Trish into the corner. Trish, being the veteran, did what she always done best. Counter, slow the pace, work the mat. It felt like old school Trish for a minute there. Then things picked up when the slaps started flying. That moment flipped the switch. It stopped feeling like a showcase and turned into a legit fight. Trish even hit the Stratus faction and got a near fall. That got the crowd on their feet. Vintage Stratus, still pulling it off after all these years. She tried to go full on Lita and hit a moonsault, but Stratton got the knees up, and after that, it was all Tiffy time. Alabama Slam, prettiest moonsault ever, lights out. As far as the fan reaction, Trish got a standing ovation. You Still Got It chants filled the arena, and she definitely soaked in the love after the loss. Props to her. That's not easy to do at this stage of her career, and the crowd showed nothing but respect. The online response was solid. Most people were just surprised at how much chemistry these two had. Some even said it topped Tiffany's WrestleMania match with Charlotte, which is huge. That said, others pointed out how it felt a little over-rehearsed in spots, like they were thinking too much instead of letting it flow. Fair critique, but regardless, the match delivered. As for me, this was Tiffany's coming out party in a way. She outclassed Trish, straight up. Trish held her own, no doubt, but this was Tiffany saying, "You were the woman back then. Now it's my turn." That bump that Tiffany took early when she got dumped to the outside, brutal. That shit looked painful as hell. But she bounced back and kept it moving. Total pro. I was expecting more of a dramatic passing of the torch moment, maybe a handshake or a moment of respect, but we didn't get that, and honestly, that's fine. Sometimes the win is the statement. Final rating, 3.5 out of 5. Good match. Trish proved that she still belongs, but Tiffany proved she's already arrived. And I was right again. Another prediction in the win column for me. All right. Now we got Jade Cargill versus Naomi. No holds barred with Bianca Belair as a special guest referee. And this was a straight up brawl. No finesse, no flash. Just two women who hate each other finally getting that green light to beat the absolute hell out of each other. And that's exactly what Jade Cargill and Naomi did. Chairs, chains, trash cans, a broken monitor, even a damn camera. They emptied the toolbox in this no holds barred match. Literally. And in the end, it was Jade standing tall after hitting Naomi with a top rope jaded through a table. Wild. Let's break this thing down. Before the bell even rang, Jade launched Naomi into the barricade. That set the tone. Chaos from the jump. Naomi fired back with a kendo stick, and that kicked off a weapon-heavy slugfest. This wasn't chain wrestling. This was a fight. Some of the big spots: Naomi drop kicking Jade into the announce table and breaking the monitor. Crowd popped big for that. Jade grabbing a literal camera and clocking Naomi with it. Naomi pulling out a chain and trying to gouge Jade's damn eye out with a table leg. This was personal. Then we get to the finish. Jade hits a jaded off the top rope through a table for the win. Great visual, big pop, but here's the thing. Let's talk about the flaws. Look, this was better than what Jade gave us at Night of Champions, no question. She was more aggressive, more involved. In the match, I had that big fight feel. But I gotta say, she still struggles with the fundamentals at times, especially selling. That final stretch made no sense. Naomi sets her up on the table, goes up top, and Jade recovers like she just got hit with a pillow. I'm not saying don't do the jaded through a table spot. I'm saying set it up better. If Jade had rolled off the table and Naomi crashed through it first, then Jade drags her out and finishes her, that's clean. That's logical. But nope. She just pops up and hits her move like it's a video game. And I'll say this too. Bianca Belair as the guest ref was completely pointless. Like, why? There are no rules. She wasn't even a part of the finish. It felt like a marketing play more than a storytelling one. As far as the fan reaction goes, the crowd was into it. You could feel the tension. Some fans even called this Jade's best WWE match yet. And I won't argue that. Naomi's character work was on another level. She came off like a lunatic in the best way possible. That moment with the table leg and the chain, that was sick. Absolutely sold her heel persona. Online, mixed. Some people loved the violence, others hated the abrupt finish, but pretty much everyone agreed that this was a step up from Jade's last couple outings. As for me, solid match. Not great, not bad, just solid. Naomi carried this feud for most of it, and it showed here too. She brought the fire, Jade brought the moment. And even though the finish was a little shaky, I still enjoyed the ride. Hopefully this wraps up their feud and we move into Jade versus Bianca, because that's the money match. Final rating, 3 out of 5. Brutal, violent, entertaining. The lack of proper selling and some weird pacing knocks it down a bit. Still, much better from Jade. Now we wait to see if she can take that next step at SummerSlam. The Women's Battle Royal at Evolution delivered exactly what it promised. Chaos, unexpected moments, and one hell of a spotlight for a rising talent. 20 women from Raw, SmackDown, and NXT packed the ring, but in the end, it was Stephanie Vaquer who stood tall, punching her ticket to a Women's World Championship match at Clash in Paris. And yeah, she earned it. Let's break it down. The crowd came alive right out of the gate when Nikki Bella entered first. Big pop for the Hall of Famer, and deservedly so. Say what you want about the Bellas, but when Nikki shows up, fans still care. Nia Jax played the monster role early on, tossing out NXT up-and-comers like Tatum Paxley left and right. She looked like a damn wrecking ball for the first 5 minutes of the match, but credit where it's due, Kalani Jordan had the moment of the match in terms of agility. That spot where she walked on her hands across the announce table to avoid elimination, freakish athleticism. Straight up highlight reel material. The final four, we got Nia Jax, Nikki Bella, Lash Legend, and Stephanie Vaquer. I'll say it right now, the final stretch was better than I expected. Nikki tried to eliminate Nia, but Lash cut her off and eliminated her. That got a ton of heat from the crowd. Then Lash and Vaquer worked together to eliminate Nia, which was a smart booking choice. You can take out the biggest threat before it becomes a momentum killer. But the real finish, clean. Vaquer gets Lash Legend on the apron and boom, Devil's Kiss knocks her to the floor and seals the win. That's how you make a statement. As far as the fan reaction, like most battle royals, yeah, it was chaotic. A few awkward eliminations, some timing issues, but you expect that in a 20-woman match. The key is whether there's energy, and this crowd in Atlanta was into it. Nikki Bella got the nostalgic pop. Kalani Jordan made a name for herself, and Lash Legend looked like a future star. And Vaquer, she got the win in the post-match moment with Stephanie McMahon, which honestly gave her that extra credibility boost on the main roster stage. Fans online seem to agree that this was one of the better executed battle royals in recent memory. Was it perfect? No, but it served a purpose and delivered some surprises. As for me, I'm shocked that we didn't get a single legend outside of Nikki. No Molly Holly, no Michelle McCool, no Victoria, no Jazz, nothing. That was surprising, but maybe that was the plan, to focus on the current roster and really elevate someone new. And speaking of elevation, I thought Lash Legend came off like a beast. She's been putting in the work at NXT, and if WWE is smart, they got big plans for her. She's got the look, the size, the confidence, and she's not far off from a breakout moment. I did pick Nikki Bella to win this match. I figured they'd go the nostalgic pop and give her a big title match in Paris, but honestly, I'm glad I was wrong. Stephanie Vaquer winning it is the right call. She's been outstanding in the ring, and now she gets a real chance to shine on a premium live event. My final score for this match is a 3.5 out of 5. Good effort from all involved. Not a classic, but the right person won. A few women got time to shine, and the crowd was locked in the whole time. I'll take it. Now it's time for the main event. Yes, let's talk about this main event chaos, because holy hell, what a way to close out Evolution. We went in expecting a straight up one-on-one classic between Io and Rhea for the Women's World Championship, and we got that for a while, and then Naomi said, nah, I'm cashing in right the hell now, and flipped this whole thing upside down. Let's break down the match. It started off smooth. Io and Rhea had that calm before the storm vibe. Respectful, measured, technical chain wrestling to get things going. You could feel the tension brewing, then the tempo picked up, and they went to work. Io hit a missile drop kick, a suicide dive, and a Hurricane Rana that had Rhea scrambling. Rhea answered back with a Razor's Edge and a sit-out powerbomb that nearly folded Io in half. Then came the spot. Io goes for the springboard drop kick. Rhea gets out of the way and hits Jessica Carr instead. Referee's down. Rhea Ripley hits the Riptide, and there's no ref to count the pin. Rhea is pissed. They brawl into the crowd, and they go over to the production crates, which leads to a big spot where Io launched herself like she's trying to touch the ceiling of Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Crashes into Rhea Ripley. Then they make their way back into the ring. Io hits the moonsault, and Rhea kicked out. I repeat, Rhea kicks out. Then they go up to the top rope again. Io hits a Spanish fly, And then bam, Naomi's music hits. She sprints down with the Money in the Bank briefcase, and this match is now a triple threat. Naomi waffles Io with the briefcase. She sends Rhea flying into the post and hits a split-legged moonsault on Io. 1, 2, 3. Naomi is your new Women's World Champion. The fans were on fire for this one. This wasn't just a main event. This felt like a WrestleMania caliber match. From the technical exchanges to the brawling to Io's death-defying leap, they gave it everything. Crowd was eating it up. Chants of "This is awesome," "Fight forever," and huge gasp at every near fall. Io's crate dive was called the spot of the night by damn near everyone on social. And the Naomi cash-in, divisive but memorable. Some people love the shock factor. Others were bummed we didn't get a clean finish between Rhea and Io, and I get that, but you can't say it wasn't big time. There's already buzz that this sets up a triple threat rematch at SummerSlam, or maybe a longer arc heading into WrestleMania 42. Either way, this story ain't done. As for me, this was the match of the night, hands down. Io and Rhea are two of the best women's wrestlers in the world right now, and they proved it. No smoke, no mirrors, just pure intensity and world-class wrestling. I was shocked, genuinely, that Naomi cashed in here. I had her marked to go after Tiffany Stratton, honestly, but credit to Triple H. When he wants to shake things up, he does it with impact. And Naomi pinning Io, that's a statement. Still, part of me wanted this to be that final, definitive Io versus Rhea classic. I wanted one of them to walk away clean. That's the only reason I'm not calling it a 5 out of 5. But we'll probably get that one-on-one match down the line. Maybe at WrestleMania. Just give it to me. My final score for this one was a 4.5 out of 5. Epic, unpredictable, and emotional. If this is the new bar for women's wrestling main events, I'm all in. Naomi's on top, Io and Rhea have unfinished business, and let's see where the hell we go from here. All right, let's see where my predictions, my percentage of correct predictions was, and my final score for Evolution. So these were the matches I got right. Got 4 out of 7 matches correct. I had Becky Lynch, Tiffany Stratton, Raquel and Roxanne, and Jade. The matches I got wrong was JC Jane defeating Jordan Grace, Stephanie Vicker winning the Battle Royal, and then Naomi cashing in the main event and winning the Women's World title. You know, that's the matches that I got wrong. So, and then this was my score calculation for the matches. The Becky, Lyra, Bailey match got a 4 out of 5. JC and Jordan got a 3.5 out of 5. The Fatal 4-Way Tag match got a 3 out of 5. Tiffany and Trish got a 3.5 out of 5. Jade and Naomi got a 3 out of 5. The Battle Royal got a 3.5 out of 5. And Rhea, Naomi, and Io got a 4.5 out of 5. So, you know, my average match rating was a 3.57. Now we scale that to a 10-point system, which comes out to a 7.14 out of 10. So I'm going to go with a rounded score of a 7 out of 10 for this PLE. And then my prediction accuracy was a 57%. Not my best, but, you know, sometimes that happens. You know, you can either be spot on with a lot of your predictions or way off. Just depends. But the verdict, you know, is a 7 out of 10. Good show overall, with some surprises and strong in-ring work. But not quite a classic. But I do think that this is going to point towards more Evolution shows in the future. But that's a wrap on WWE Evolution. And overall, I gotta say, this show hit more than it missed. We saw careers elevated, rivalries intensified, and a very unexpected new champion crowned in the main event. You know, like I said, I was 4 out of 7 on predictions, so not perfect, but better than most of the experts out there on social media. If this is the kind of energy that WWE is putting into their women's division going forward, then maybe, just maybe, Evolution doesn't have to be a every once in a few years thing. Either way, I'll be watching, breaking it down, and calling it exactly how I see it. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Enjoy wrestling and stay focused.